That's your...
Yep, now you're unmuted.
Good evening. Being that the hour of 5 o'clock has arrived, the Public Safety and Licensing Committee meeting is now called to order. Our first order of business is the approval of the minutes for the January 15th, 2025 meeting. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And I will let you read the next item.
First item is 0744-24, communication sponsored by Alder Pete on behalf of the City Clerk's Office, submitting a new application for a Class B retail fermented malt beverage and intoxicating liquor license for Pub 41 LLC, DBA Pub 41 Banquet Hall, located at 3701 Durand Ave. Arshdeep Singh, Agent, 11th District. The recommendation of PSL on 9/9/2024 was to be deferred. Recommendation of PSL on 1/15/2025 would be deferred. Fiscal note NA.
Is the applicant here? Would you please come forward? Are you the applicant, sir?
I'm the agent. He's the agent.
You can pull up a chair.
Yes.
So there's one for everything.
Attorney Arn, would you please swear the applicant in?
Just raise your right hand, please, and then to my left. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you. Mr. Rowley?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Good evening, sir. I know that you're the new applicant. The committee is here to ask you questions about your business plan, things such as hours of operation, maintaining safety, lighting, things of that nature. So, does anyone from the committee
I want to hear from them first what they're planning.
Okay. Could you explain your business plan?
Sure. Mr. Chair, I am Attorney David Halbrooks, and I have Mr. Singh is the proposed agent for Pub 41. There's another Pub 41 just north of here. Mr. Singh has worked there. He's also worked at a liquor store, so he's had now a few years of experience selling alcohol and being responsible for that. We are located in the Elmwood Plaza, and so the owner of Elmwood Plaza he is here, and then this will be renting on the end. I think in the packet there's
It'll be the east corner. I believe it's the east corner.
Yes, the far.
Right there, yeah, Elmwood Plaza in Wheelock.
Yes, and I did talk to Overland Land, and I don't know if she didn't realize. I think she didn't realize the meeting was now because she got no objections, she got no calls, and so I've worked in city government most of my career. I've never been authorized to make a representation on behalf of an alderman, but she said I could tell you that she has no objection and has not had any concerns. There originally was a different applicant for agent, and that person left the company, and that left Mr. Singh. And then in terms of the Good Neighbor report, there was a couple of updates. They, as they reviewed the percentage of alcohol and food, because they put down roughly 50-50, they determined, well, that's not, as mainly a restaurant then, and so we're going to treat it as a tavern, and so no underage individuals in there. No, there's a banquet hall, so no underage individuals in there, unless there's no alcohol. No underage without guardians, obviously. And so it will be, even though there will be lunch and dinner up until, I believe, about 10, and then after that, just kind of bar food. But it will be, it's essentially going to be ID scans and treated as a tavern in terms of the people that go in there. If at some point then the food takes over and becomes more of a majority, then that's certainly something we can come back, with the business plan, and amend that and then ask to have it treated more as a restaurant. But I think that for, safety's sake at this point, the more prudent thing is just treat it as a pub and, go from there. I think that, his family has been involved in the tavern and restaurant business for probably 3 decades, and so there's a lot of experience here, and I expect, if you have any questions, we could certainly address any of those.
Hear
Okay.
from the city attorney.
All right,
first.
well, sir, before we get there, I have a question,
Yes.
a couple of comments.
Yes.
I like the way you presented it, but I wasn't clear on his experience, the applicant's
Right.
experience with actually running a bar.
Yeah, I am,
I understood about selling liquor in like a liquor store,
yeah.
retail, but what about actually managing the crowd and what have you Saturday night?
I'm working on a bar from last near about 1 year. Now, I just resigned from there and I just wanna do it right here.
So it's the same company.
Yeah, it's the same
Pub Fort, it's actually the same name.
Okay.
So tell them what you've done there.
I'm agent over there. I'm agent over there from last 1 year. I know very well how to run a bar.
Could we have a good neighbor report?
Sure, I can do that. So as the committee may be aware, this application came before you initially on September 3rd. You referred the matter at the time asking for an updated or a more detailed application packet because it was missing some items that you used to be pertinent. The applicant did submit a revised application. The revised application essentially lists a new agent. So the old agent, Sarah Agnon, is no longer with the company, if I remember correctly. And it has a few other changes, which I'll go through here. So as far as the operation of the business, they did indicate that they would be operating primarily as a restaurant, serving lunch and dinner, as the attorney stated, up through 10 o'clock. After 10 through closing hours, which is 2 or 2:30, depending on the day or the night, they would operate primarily as a bar. And we did go over the rules for underage, so they do understand that because of those numbers, they would be operating primarily as a bar, which means no underage person on the premises. They're there just to consume food. The only exception is if they are in the banquet hall portion and no alcohol is being served in the banquet hall. I understand that the banquet hall would be used only for special events, birthday parties, wedding ceremony, wedding reception, stuff like that. So they are aware of those rules. We did go over Mr. Singh's experience as well. As the attorney indicated, he's been working at the other Pub 41 in Oak Creek for the past. He has approximately 2 to 3 years of experience, mostly working at the convenience store. Mr. and Mrs. Waller are the owners, although they will not be involved in the day-to-day operations of the business. This specific location has not been licensed before as a restaurant or a bar, so it does have to be updated to obtain an occupancy permit. I believe they're working on that and hoping to start operating within the next couple months here after they are approved. Their goal is to start operating within 60 to 90 days. The police department liaison at that time was Sergeant Tillman. He was unable to attend the meeting, so I'm not sure if Sergeant Neighbors may have anything to add with respect to any police issues. I would also point out that when I discussed the application with Mr. Singh and Mr. Walia at the meeting, I did inform them that their revised application, even though they indicated that Ms. Aragon is no longer with the company, she is still listed on 3 separate pages of the application, on page 47, 49, and page 50. So the cigarette license, the dance hall license, and the amusement license all list the former agent. So she's no longer with the company. That does have to be updated. I did inform them of this back in December. It has not been updated, and that's the application that the committee has before it. That's all the information I have. Thank you.
Would you like to speak to that?
Yeah, I think about one thing, obviously there's no excuse for anything, but, since just starting, there's so much sickness happening in my life. One of my top agent passed away, which was my original agent for this one, Mike Deck, and he was my key person, and all of a sudden passed away. And then he's the one who did the Sarah moved after that. But that's not and then I'm healthy now, and then big thing is basically what happened. I thought we already, Arsha and I came to the city hall. Some reason we made the changes on those, the one you brought it up. I don't know why it's still not. We went to the city hall over here. He came with me,
Yep,
and we made all.
we just gave him the application about that.
No, I'm talking, we came a long time ago when we changed everything,
Yep,
and
So it sounds like you did make the changes to the liquor application. You didn't change the cigarette license or the dental license or the amusement devices application. So if this committee wishes to move forward with the alcohol license, you can always appeal those and then hold the remainder of the license until that gets changed to the appropriate name, and that would go back. Actually, I believe those are licenses, yes, one of them would have to go back to the committee, so they would come back.
How do you all,
Yeah, I got a few concerns, so, so the restaurant, how big is just the restaurant portion? It's just where Buena Vita was, if I'm not mistaken, correct? It was where Buena Vita Restaurant used to be, right?
yeah, that's the same. Go ahead.
So, and that's where, my question is that where if there's no banquets, the banquet facility will be locked up? Because I'm worried about that turning into a great big bar, because that hall is quite large. We have another bar right there that probably fits 150, 200 people, and we have problems. And I worry about that type of problem. Another thing I've heard, you guys got your pub in Oak Creek. There's been some police problems over there, I've heard, over the last couple of years. I don't know how many, but I just heard that there was problems, and I'm wondering what's going on, if that's been taken care of over there. I just have some huge concerns about this, because the bar right there, and so how many people will that bar or the restaurant portion fit?
I didn't
Do you
see
have any idea?
I didn't see the capacity on
Our main goal is, the whole operation of this business is, we are not our full long-term, we own the whole mall.
I understand.
We are vested for long-term. We are not planning to just open up the bar. Our main goal is to hopefully we have a luncheon and dinner, and where we can do the tasting, so we can have the bank, mostly events place. And event side will be closed unless there is special event. It's already, as long as the event area is a separately locked, there's nothing to enter, and we are not we are not planning to open. I'm pretty sure you guys are very smart people and a lot of experience. And a banquet hall, typically you sign up to 12 o'clock. And then because by the time you take them out, so at 12:30 they're out. And our main goal is to have a lunch and dinner at the same time. Then people who want to rent the event center so they can have tasting or food and stuff. And the long term, our game plan is to have a event center, the main business, and then obviously in order to, you need catering, you want to know what it is, so that way they can come and stop and that's why we only open 10 to, we only open 10 to 10. Yep, and something else happening, then our goal is to not, our goal is not to open as a nightclub or as a bar. Our goal is to attract more people down the road for special event centers. And,
Well, you guys have been back a few times. A few years ago, you wanted to put a banquet hall, a liquor store, and a bar there.
yes,
This has been going on for quite a few years.
yeah, we lost, even
And
big, my anchor tenant, they will lose because of that.
like I said, my concern is we got a saturation of licenses over there, taverns and stuff in the area. And we're gonna have two big facilities right next to each other. I have real concerns about it, security concerns, because we have problems at Doobie's periodically where we gotta have the police. And now we're talking about adding up to 150 people more to this area. And like I said, if it was more like just a restaurant, I'd be okay with it, but I'm really worried about just having a bar, basically.
Well, it is a restaurant, in terms of the, right now, their, only analysis is to put down 50/50 without having any experience, and so I think that it would be their preference down the line to be able to come back and say, all right, we've now proved that we're selling more food than we are liquor. And you would presume that would be the case during the day and early evening.
But you have to understand our
Oh,
concern
yeah. No.
also because of, you know,
Absolutely.
limited police resources and stuff like that, and putting another couple hundred people in that corner, it's just, you know, like I said, we got a lot of liquor licenses in that area already, so.
Yeah.
We'll let other people speak and
It's always a difficult analysis on when, analyze saturation. I know I practice in Milwaukee and they talk about it, but they don't have any codification of it, so it's hard to.
can you give me any information on the problems over the last couple of years that they had at Oak Creek?
At Oak Creek, that's what it's.
As far as I know, we don't have any problem.
I've heard it from people from the Oak Creek, people that talk to the Oak Creek Police Department. So I'm not saying this happened this last year, but in the last couple of years.
Shouldn't have, but
it happened there. That's all.
Has the police been there?
No.
This is just what I heard from people.
Yeah, well, I don't.
I get it, that's why I asked.
Yeah, it's difficult to respond to. I presume I would have
Right.
heard about it, but I'm unfamiliar with any police problems. Certainly we could check into it.
the only issue I can see is what happened is, when, Agent Sarah, she was the agent over there, and, when my main guy passed away, and then we found out he was not the honest person, and then, when we get rid of her, and then she tried to, which we already took her the new agent, but, he sent the letter which she had right to say to the Oak Creek, but that nothing, we have 10 days to take care of things.
Okay.
That's the only thing, otherwise we don't have any.
It's not an area that I would think would be a police issue.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions from the committee? Yes.
I just have one for the city attorney in regards to the 4 licenses that are being applied for. We can only really address one tonight, correct? And that's a liquor license. So if a liquor license is granted, would it be for the entire area, including the dance hall part that won't have a license yet? Or will it just be for the area that's intended to be a bar and restaurant?
So the liquor license premise description includes both the banquet hall as well as the restaurant side, so it would be all of that. It's 2 units, as I understand it, put together. So that would license the sale of liquor in that entire area. What they're saying is they want to operate one side as a banquet hall, one side as a restaurant, and they can do that. But at any point, if they decide to have an event where it's just over 21, they can certainly serve alcohol on both sides of the restaurant because the premise description does include both.
Okay, so the dance hall application that has to be submitted, does that come back to this committee?
Let me double check the dance hall, Amber might know that quicker than I do.
If I could,
Let me just, if I could just fill in quick, because there's still gonna be maybe up to 90 days for repairs to get the place up to speed, so we'll have plenty of time to change those two signatures out and whatever needs to come back to you. So there won't be any events
Okay.
before this all, I would hope, if the liquor license is approved, the rehab will go forward. If the rehab's going forward, we'll be back at the next meeting with the three signatures, if whatever needs to come here.
You have to go to the city clerk's office to modify those applications.
Right, but I mean, I don't know which ones come here.
So it would be the dance hall, and then I believe the cigarette, if I'm not mistaken.
The which one?
Share the record.
And then I would be able to answer, I could check into the Oak Creek thing too.
Okay, then, so the other question that I have, probably for the clerk's office, is, was that premise previously have a liquor license?
Long time ago.
Was it-
yeah,
Yes.
A while ago, when Alvita was left and there was a liquor license there.
yeah.
That's been 6 years,
Oh, my God.
2018, pre-pandemic.
So, before, I have a question myself, going back to the, other three issues. If a liquor license were issued tonight, I think I just heard you say that liquor license would give the whole 20,000 square feet or whatever it is, the ability to serve alcohols.
Correct.
And I understand what they said, they plan going forward having things done in 90 days, but if it's 91 days, they could have a big dance hall based on the liquor license, or a big, bar.
So the dance hall license is required in order to play music in the premises to allow people to dance. So, I mean, I guess there's a possibility that if he doesn't revise the dance hall application and he has his liquor license before that time, he could operate a bar and not play music. I don't think we'll run into that situation just because he does have a long time before the premise will be completed. So delaying the other applications 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks is not really going to make a practical difference.
Okay, just wanted to make sure everyone was clear on that part of it.
Right, there would not be any events before they get the right required licenses. But there also wouldn't be, part of the business plan that we're presenting is the banquet hall will be closed off. It won't be, so just even though the whole place will have a liquor license, the banquet hall would not be open unless there was an event there. And there's not gonna be any events until these
All the
required
paperwork is done, okay. That's it, I was just adding to what you said, so once, there won't be any other activities in the banquet hall slash
They won't
dance
have a
hall
license,
until all the paperwork is completed, okay.
Yeah.
But if,
Go ahead.
so you guys are gonna sell tobacco products up there too?
Well, that wouldn't be until the liquor license.
Well, I'm just saying, I mean,
Yeah,
I actually, I don't know, we don't want to, we have no intention to sell cigarette or any tobacco product.
okay, because that's part of the application there said that, if you are applying.
that's the one that's not signed, or that Sarah has signed. But that is, but that also would allow, for instance, like hookah or whatever, right?
No, we're not planning on doing
Not,
that.
okay.
Because we are more focusing on food, and, it's just not, our main goal is to make that, because we got over 30, close to, I think, 30-acre parking lot. We prefer, without disturbing any neighbors, we like to have, the special, known for place to where people can go birthday party and stuff. That's our goal.
See, this is
Not,
what,
I just
not
said,
a nightclub, not kind of, main goal is to serve as a special event.
I just have one more comment, and then I'll kind of be quiet about it, but,
Okay.
so the banquet facility, so this whole place is 28,000 square feet. I know what you guys are planning on, but it doesn't mean that if you decide to just open that up, that banquet facilities, you guys could do that. That's my biggest concern.
As part of the bar?
Yeah,
No,
because.
we're telling you that the business.
I know what you guys are saying, but my concern is if things ain't working out right, is we're gonna turn into just a bar.
No, we're telling you as the committee that that's part of the business plan and should be adopted as part of the liquor license. And then we can't.
See, our goal is not, we don't just we own the whole mall.
I
We
understand.
have a vested interest as a whole, whatever, we've done nightclubs, we've done in the past, I know how hard it is, it's not an easy job, and, whoever does it, I salute them. I am that's not where, every day you got, plus the times are different now too, I don't think, as when I was 40 years, 30 years young, different times,
Okay,
and that's not we want to, so that's, I think, is one of the, everybody knows we treat them such, and we're not just, that's not the goal of this.
okay.
We would expect that if you wanted to make that part of the motion, that be part of the business plan, that would be perfectly acceptable.
I guess I'll ask the city attorney, is that enforceable? Because once they got a liquor license, it's the whole building, am I correct?
Well, the attorney is correct, you can add that as a condition, our ordinance does allow that. I'm just double checking the business plan here, because if it's part of the business plan, it's already written down like that, they are required to abide by the business plan when the committee and the common council issues the license.
Yeah, I didn't see it in that specific phraseology, so that's why I said, that's clearly our intention, that won't be opened up. But I haven't seen, I don't know if the building inspector will assign a capacity in the
They
future.
do, the applicant has yet to apply for an
Right.
occupancy permit, so they haven't had an inspection yet. Once the inspection has been completed, they'll be able to assign an occupancy limit, and they will be provided that number, and they'll have to post that.
So each room will have a separate occupancy, you would anticipate, right? Like the banquet hall would have its own, like they would say, this room can only have this many, and
That's a question for the building
Right.
department. I'm not sure how the building is laid out, or whether they'll do it for the entire building, given that it's one entrance. That's something that I have to check with the building department. But once you get that number, you'll know exactly what it is.
Right, because if we're having just the restaurant area, we can't have the capacity for the banquet hall, because then you could put, several hundred people in a small area. So it'll be, I suspect they'll have separate, capacity.
Okay.
So to answer your question, Alder Cole, as the attorney stated, it's not phrased exactly in those terms. So if your goal is to have the applicant operate the premises, and only open up the banquet hall when there is a special event, you can certainly make that as a condition, prior to approving it. So you would move to approve with the condition that the banquet hall only be open for, special events or when it's rented out.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions for me?
Good. All right, thank you. I know when Sarah was, before us, back in September, there was some discrepancies and also a lack of information that was provided on the application. And so we did defer the item, since you're back, with an updated, a more legible application. So thank you for seeing to it that we can actually read the application this time. And, my stance at the time is really, and it's consistent, is the onus is on the business owner to demonstrate that they thoroughly thought out their business plan. And there was a lot of information. How are you gonna handle crowd control? And it was really something like, oh, we have ample space. And it didn't get into the details of how you're gonna handle it. And why that's really important to me, and even looking at the application that we have now, I think it's still void of a lot of information. And some of it I'm gonna put on you, because it's up to you to understand where you're gonna open a business. A little bit I'm gonna put on us, just because we're not the application is kind of vague in a sense. It's just asking a broad question, and it'd be good if we say, break it up into a little bit. Give us your security plan, give us your noise plan, something along those lines, so you can really start breaking up. It does ask how you'll handle noise on the premise, and it's really up to you to how you would do it. And I suppose those with a lot of business background would know how to write a thorough business plan. And I'm suspecting with somebody like yourself, your caliber of owning other locations, that we would have saw something a little more detailed. I would like to see that. There has been concerns in that area, which you should know if you are the owner of that establishment for the other liquor location on premise. And with that, there was a lot of crowd concerns. The police officer that was here last time talked about the crowds and the crowds that are generating. When you have a location that can hold a lot of capacity, and the concern of which it's by law, you can have your establishment be open to the hours in which you posted or put in your application. But what's concerning is some other establishments in the city of Racine, knowing that the later they stay open, it draws a certain crowd. And some of those locations now have shut their hours down sooner. And you're going to stay open all the way to 2:30 or what's listed on this application, and you have a lot of space, probably one of the bigger capacity spaces that we have for liquor establishments in the city of Racine. And that's what was happening to the other liquor establishment on Elmwood. The crowds not necessarily, they were forming on inside and causing chaos, but there was chaos in the parking lot. The parking lot was causing, it withdrew because a lot of people could gather there. So not necessarily a total reflection on your character and what you're hoping to bring in there. It's more so just maybe the pulse of what's going on in the community and people looking for gathering spots after being liquored up. Not necessarily you're liquoring them up, but you now have the capacity. And so that's why I was really hoping, and if somebody's opening up a business in the location, I would suspect you would do the history of what are the problems, so I can make sure that I'm going to address those problems to a public safety and licensing committee. And you went into a little more detail of what you're going to do, but I think some of the major things that were avoided, you said we are going to hire outside security during bar closing time to control crowds. And you said 10 to 2 security to patrol outside area. And you said you also were expecting 200 customers on your busiest day. And we will approach our guests to respect others and to keep quiet. Does that satisfy totally, if you can get where the line of where I'm trying to go at? I would have liked, more for security staffing. Did you specify the numbers of security personnel? No. Did you define their postings? No. Did you mention communication between security staff? Did you talk about control entry points? Did you talk about, you have 18 acres, right? And that being, with that big of a lot size, there is a lot of control. You have a lot of responsibility. To have a liquor license is a privilege, and it comes with a heck of a lot of responsibility. This is our only time that we get to review this process. The next time is when damage is being done, and it's almost too late because you start causing wounds in the community, right? Now we're bleeding at this point, and now we're looking how to triage it. So we have to make sure that we're very thorough in this process, but we're kind of limited. It's like we're taking in information, Alder was asking you about your other location in Oak Creek. He's trying to get a pulse because this is our only opportunity to do it, on what's going to happen. We're, in a sense, we're hoping to be the shield for safety for the community, but we want to first also have this balance. I appreciate you as a business owner or somebody who wants to do business. We need that. We need that for our economy. We need that for the diversity of options to bring quality of life, and so people have pleasure in the balance of their hecticness. So first, thank you. You know, thank you for wanting to invest in Racine. You've been trying to go at this plan for a little while now. I can only appreciate that. I just hope you understand the seriousness when you have liquor attached to it. It's a whole nother level of responsibility. And I would hope you understand that we're partners in this. As much as you want your business to grow, you know, we want the community to thrive, and we want it to be a safe community, and we want you to be an asset. And we're partners, you're partners with the police department as well. And so with something that big of size, I think it requires an extra level of detail and care, and especially in an area that already has been faced with activity that has negatively impacted the city of Racine.
And thank you, Alderman. I think, where I've recently just been brought on to this matter, but one of the reasons why Mr. Wally, I think probably called me is that's basically what you're talking about is my experience. I was the nuisance abatement prosecutor for the city of Milwaukee for most of my career, and I still work in that area, although now people are having nuisances and hire me to help out. So in this instance, I think that I've had a long relationship working with the police, being the lawyer for the police, and working with them to deal with crowd control issues, to deal with security issues. And so I do believe that having the opportunity to meet with the police, I think, you know, for instance, shutting off the back of the parking lot after, you know, late at night was probably, for instance, an example. Making sure that the cameras are working and that the cameras are available, you know, that the whatever is recording are available for the police if they need anything, but also being diligent about the screening that happens when people are going in. But I want to make certain that it's not the intention. I mean, I just am working on clearing up a horrible situation of a tavern in Milwaukee on behalf of the building owner trying to get out of a problem nuisance tavern out of his building. And they showed video at the committee yesterday, and it's just reprehensible what happens in there. And so this family doesn't have any of that kind of reputation of operating in that manner. And so they haven't survived this long. And I think that, you know, Mr. Walia his business owns the plaza, but then his wife is the member of the LLC at 41. And so they have a significant family stake in this, and I think that from the perspective of going forward, there is no intention to talk about chaos inside, that that's the way that this, you know, that this business would be run in any way, shape, or form. So I do believe that the opportunity, if you're fortunate enough to be granted the liquor license, that working with the police, the members of the neighborhood, are something that, you know, I've been doing for almost my entire career as a lawyer. And so it's something that is, you know, I've managed to blend with the practice of law and finding ways where, you know, we might start out with 10 different things and, you know, work our way down from least expensive to most expensive, but ultimately we're able to take care of some very significant problems in my practice. So I think that having staff a committee like you're appearing, or like you're sitting on, I completely understand, and I believe that we will operate in a manner that is certainly with what you would expect from this family.
One thing I'd like to add, I know we had no plan to open after 12 o'clock, because of the reason I don't care how diligent we can be, but at the end of the reason is because of liability-wise alone, you know, liabilities are becoming worse and worse and worse. And one thing I don't want to be part of somebody, you know, life matter, you know. To me, I can do my, you know, I can show you, I can do this, I can do that. But reality is, if I'm gonna be open up at 2:30, there's gonna be trouble, which I don't want to be part of it. That business I don't need. Yeah, when I was 19, 20, that was exciting, those days, but I'm not in, we are not, plus, those days were different, But now, real estate, it's like a penny wise and dollar foolish kind of thing. And plus, money important to me, but not as important in life. And if, end of the day, I don't care how hard I will work, how hard my employee work. The nature of the timing is, we don't want, the only reason we kept up to that day, because of most of the banquet halls, pretty standard, they use the typical contract is up to 12 o'clock. And the day we don't have event, I don't want mostly we're gonna close 10 o'clock, because that's when the dinner and lunch close, but we're not gonna open after 12 o'clock. And even for banquet, we don't have contract at 12 o'clock. Typically what happens, when banquet halls, they gotta, would you 15 minutes, give me, buddy, whatever that is. Because then by 12:30, everybody gone. If, I agree with you, if I'm going to stay open up to 2:30 closing time, there's gonna be problems. And I'm not going to, if you want to put condition up to, the only reason I don't like the condition, the reason is because the banquet hall, our contract are going to be 12 o'clock, which is pretty standard in the, but, how the party people are having fun, they want 5, 10, 15, certainly by 12:30 you're shut, But if I'm going to try to do the last penny, I be lying that I can control it. So our policy is we are not going to open, we are not looking for that business, and it's not just liability alone. Plus, I don't want to be part of the life, where I don't need that.
And I think that you make a good point in terms of the legal closing time versus when it's actually a good business time to close. And so I think as a lawyer drafting the application, I would always put down 2:30. But that's a completely different issue than what a business person would make, because sometimes, I don't know, these games now go past midnight. It's like you think about you're going to close, and then the football game is going into, basketball goes past midnight. And so it's ridiculous. The Bucks didn't start till 9 last night. It's like, this is not my bedtime. So the thing is that, so I think that that's something that we can consider as a business plan, but I think what you're hearing from him is, this is not a 2:30 closing establishment, but I have enough taverns that I represent that say, well, this is when people start showing up, and this costs me my business. So I'd like him to be able to not on the fly make that decision, but know that he doesn't have any intention of going to closing. But if there is a wedding and there is something going on that does go past midnight, we'd like to have the option.
And I do understand that, and you definitely are within your legal rights to do so. And, I appreciate your addition and your intentions. I will say this, is that we have never had an applicant come in here and say, well, I'm going to run a crappy business, and, I don't care whether there's going to be problems that or not. Everybody has come before us and believes that what they're going to be open, and sometimes things are, and I understand your reputation is a positive one, and the type of business you have has been supporting that claim of having a good reputation. But even for the best people, the problems have come.
Yep.
And, I can think of many liquor establishments, and, they've tried different things to try to negate some of those bad things that are coming their way. And that's what I'm looking for in some of these, just because your area has shown problems. So that's what I was looking for. But I will say, I commend this wanting to offer Racine another option for a banquet. commend that you want to offer some variety, and, so all that can be commendable, you know, just understanding the business that you're getting into and the area in which that you're doing it. I had saw those discrepancies that our attorney has pulled out about, Sarah's name being on there, but that's already been addressed. And, I can appreciate your plan is not to have your establishment open after 10, 12, depending if it's a event. So, but I just wanted to make that statement about, you know, I understand intentions and I understand good reputation. That doesn't completely shield you from bad things happening.
You know.
So,
Thank you. Are there any, yes,
Thing I didn't ask, two things. How many employees do you guys plan on employing?
We have obviously there's going to be a staff in the
I mean, just for the bar area.
bar area, we mostly, our tensions are no more than 2 to 3. The reason is, the idea is, our tensions main basically facilitate the, for the events. That's our main goal. Main thing is so the food is there, staff is there, they can, you know, they can do the tasting and they can look at that. That's our main goal. And then they have lunch or dinner, that's all right, like whether or not, you know. Then, we are planning to have, you know, like maybe, you know, different catering for help, you know.
Or are
I
you
think
only,
you said about 10 part-time, maybe about 10 part-time people?
yeah, that's what was in the,
Yeah.
So
paperwork.
once the license approved, then we're gonna look for the chef.
all right, are you looking to do just lunch and dinner? Not breakfast, right?
No, breakfast. That,
I wanna know what kind of food you guys are gonna have.
It's gonna be basically, it's gonna be just regular food, bar, steak, you know, all the catering, simple catering food. And then we might, depend upon who chef will be, you know, the chef can always, you know, influence it.
No, that's something you want to do.
One thing I gotta suggest that you guys offer a vegan,
thank you.
a vegan option.
Would you please, yes,
Yeah, that
thank you for
will help.
advocating for us vegans.
We can actually, that's, actually, I don't want to go out of, but,
Okay,
we have, you know,
okay.
we used to own Indian Darbar very well, used to do very well, one of the best, and, we used to own parties in downtown.
Okay.
And then, you know, somebody offered good money to staff. Restaurant and bar is the hardest business I ever made money in.
This is true.
That's the hardest one, and whoever does it, I got to go there and.
Very
and
challenging.
my money to say, thank you, stay. Because it's hard, right, and especially now, it's hard to find even any of those, you know, old style. That, to me,
So bring it to us.
vegan would
Would you
probably.
please?
Well, you may as well have vegetarian as well. Okay, great answers.
The
Are there
reason, we will have the choice because of the reason is, we are getting one, not for just for this site, what's it called, trailer, food truck,
Yeah,
for, you know, catering, vegan and Indian food.
nice.
But one thing you could do is ask for, when you do food licenses in the future, make that part of ask for the menus. That's what
Thank everybody.
Well, it's written on here, yeah, thank you.
Okay, I just want to make a comment. Probably wasn't the best appointment that the mayor made when he appointed me to this committee, because I have a little different perspective, because I have seen business after business sold in this city.
Yeah.
And I look at the responsibility that you took on when you bought that building, and now you have an annual responsibility of paying taxes on that building. You have to do something
Yeah.
there. And I appreciate you willing to take the risk, not only in purchasing that building, but the further risk you're gonna take to improve the inside, and so I want to commend you for that. And I do agree with the Alderman that, yes, having a liquor license is a privilege. And we have had bars in the city that have created problems, but I've also seen a lot of people take a big risk, and I wish you all the best. For good food, including
Yeah,
storage in there,
That's a
whatever
great-
it takes.
Great.
yeah, everything.
I would make a motion.
Okay, before, did we wanna add a condition
Well, if you let me
on
make
the
a motion.
Let her make
banquet
a
hall?
motion first and see if maybe she's gonna do it all.
Okay,
Well, I would move to approve the license with the condition that help me out with that.
Event center or
Banquet hall.
banquet hall,
That the banquet hall be open only for special events when rented out by a private party?
Yeah.
The words right out of your mouth.
Right out of my mouth.
Well, it doesn't have to be a private, it could be, they could have their own special event.
I think the problem with wording is, that the banquet hall can only be open for special events would make it difficult in terms of enforcement from a police department standpoint. I think when you add in a private party, then we have an easy way of verifying when the banquet is being used as a special event. I can't really think of a special event when you wouldn't have someone renting out for a private party. So I assume that every time you have a special event, it would be rented out by a private party. That's an easy way to show proof, easy way for the police department to verify.
I don't, can we make sure, do you understand that?
Yeah, basically, it's not like if, for my, like a regular customer coming to the, restaurant, we're not gonna open that area, mostly we're gonna close the area that's only for somebody special,
Event.
they have their own private event.
Right,
You wouldn't have, like, if you wanted to have a Christmas party or something.
you could do that.
You, what?
I
You could
could have
do
that.
that would be
I
fine.
mean,
No,
that's a-
no, we're saying they could.
Isn't that,
If a person is renting out the banquet hall
Okay.
for a
Yeah.
Christmas party, a wedding celebration, a birthday party, whatever it is, so long as it's rented out by a private party, you can open the banquet hall. Is
Yeah, I
that your
understand.
intention?
But I'm saying
That's
he
what we're
couldn't have his own Christmas party in there.
Correct.
You understand that? You
Yeah,
can't
that's
have-
okay.
You can't have your own event in there. It's gotta be
Yeah,
rented.
yeah, that's,
I just have a question for the maker of the motion. I don't know, was it seconded? I'm not sure.
I'll second it.
Oh, well,
There are, the cigarette, the dance hall, and the amusement license have, information that,
They said they're not gonna apply
Yeah,
for the
that-
but
tobacco.
we have to separate it
Oh.
from,
It is separated.
They're
The motion
separate,
is to improve just the liquor license.
yeah, that's all we're doing,
Correct.
yeah.
And then-
So, everybody good? Now can we have a second?
no, I think,
Can we have a second? Well, she was still talking. Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
okay.
Opposed?
No.
thank you very much, I really
Good
appreciate
luck, guys.
Well,
I,
motion
I'll
carries.
move it today, bro.
We don't wanna see you here
Should
again.
we make a
No.
motion to defer? those
It's
three
a bit
items?
now.
Yes.
Okay, I would like to, just to clean it up, I need to make a motion to defer the CTV 100, the cigarette license, the dance hall, and amusement license to our next public safety and licensing meeting.
We have,
We have to do it at our next, because it said it's 90, before they.
They should update their
No,
information
you
here.
can get the signature.
Okay, I
You can, I don't know how I,
What-
it's up
What,
there, we did.
what is the date?
2 weeks.
We'll need a second to that motion.
I know, but I want you to get all your details worked out.
No, I think we,
Let's see, next Tuesday is the 4th, and the 5th, so it would be the 12th.
Well,
So, just to clarify for these folks, this item will come back in 2 weeks with those 2 or 3, however many you're going to submit, corrected
Right.
applications.
2 or 3, yeah.
These folks don't have to appear for those, correct?
No.
The only one that will
Normally, the
come back
public-
is the dance hall.
normally the public dance hall, we do require the, agent to appear for public dance hall.
Good.
But I mean, that would be.
Okay. Now can we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, sir.
Good luck,
Thank
guys.
you all.
I really appreciate
All right.
it.
Sorry to put you through
Good
that,
luck.
but-
This was a joke. We'll come back in 2 weeks and maybe we'll have other updates for you.
All right,
Okay, thank you all, and again, good luck.
Nice to meet
Thank
you.
you, sir. Nice to meet you also.
Our next item is 110524. I'll wait.
So it goes to the county council meeting next week, you don't have to be there, that's much final approval and trust. It's very much, she has all the sign off. Let me know if you have any questions.
Okay. Hello again. I'll get us started. It's a little bit different since you were just here a couple of weeks ago. Your item, 110524, was referred by the city council back to the Public Safety and Licensing Committee because of the entertainment machines, and there were some other issues, areas of concern on the original application. So, at this time, I'll turn it over to the clerk. And you're clear on what I said? Okay. You can go ahead.
Do you want me to read the item?
Yes.
110524, communication sponsored by Alder Pete on behalf of the city clerk's office, submitting a change of ownership application for a Class A fermented malt beverage. Taylor at Food Mart LLC, doing business as Taylor Food Mart, located at 2056 Taylor Ave, Newmont Assad, Agent, 11th District. Recommendation of the Public Safety and Licensing Committee on 1/15/2025 was to be approved. Recommendation of the Common Council on 1/21/2025 was to be referred back to the Public Safety and Licensing Committee, fiscal note NA.
Okay. Before, do you need to swear me in again?
I have not yet. If you could raise your right hand, thank you. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Okay. As we get started, I'll turn it over. I'll let you explain, what your business plan, exactly what you plan on doing. But everybody has a copy that you said here that the machines were taken out.
There was no machines in the.
Okay, but that was one of the concerns.
So
Okay, let me just kind of finish, please.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, and I understand that you are applying for, again, there were so many different pieces to this, and I want to make sure that everybody understands each piece. To exceed the quota part, that was the second issue, but that is not here. So we're looking at the beer license, the non-alcohol beverage license, and the tobacco license, which the previous, operator had.
Yeah.
Everybody good? Okay. You guys
I
can.
believe the reason we referred this back was in regards to the 5 video games.
So
Yeah.
those were not, they're not in premise. There is no gaming machines there. But when, we filled out the applications, he had put that he's applying for 5 gaming machines. I didn't even see that in the application. Because under Illinois, they allow gaming machines. That's why he put them in the application, but that was not our intention to have any gaming machines in the establishment. So we amended the application and removed them.
Yeah, and you can't do that
No,
in
no.
the state of Wisconsin, so.
I can turn it over to Attorney
Yeah, thank
New,
you.
please.
So just to be clear, gaming machines itself are permitted, gambling machines are
Okay.
prohibited. So a gambling machine is defined as any device that takes consideration and gives out something of value. So for example, a ticket that you can redeem for a drink or money. If the gaming machine just allows for the person to win another play, that is not gambling, and that would be permitted. I did speak with Mr. Assad. I explained to him that there are concerns with their gambling machines on the premises. He indicated that they've never had a gambling machines there as far as he's aware with the old owner, and he does not intend to have any. I did point out on the application, it states 5 gaming machines. He didn't have an explanation for me at that time as to why it was on there, but he indicates that he doesn't have any gaming machines on the premises.
Does this application then need to be amended to remove the video games from the application?
We did amend it, right?
So he did submit, a withdrawal, Sterling.
Yes, that's,
Essentially, it's
Yeah.
an
yeah,
amendment
that's what you have.
that states that he does not have and will not have any amusement devices in the establishment.
Oh, with that, they've had it before, I'll make a motion to approve.
I have a motion, a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Motion carries. Same process, I guess, I'm assuming you remember, but I don't like to assume. Go back to city council, then you can contact the clerk's office.
Everything good?
Yes, you'll go to council next Tuesday, and then you guys are with everything, and then if it's approved, then we will
Okay.
print it off and send you off on your way.
Good luck, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Our next items are basically renewals, so I'll let the clerk's office read them on.
Are all of these,
They're
are all
all-
of these renewals?
Yes, sir.
Do we have to read them all, or can we take them all up at one time?
You can take them all at the same time and just state
All
what
right.
item numbers you're taking up.
All right.
Okay, item number 07625, communication sponsored by myself, Alder Pete, on behalf of the city clerk's office, submitting a renewal application for a waste tire generator license for Bridgestone Retail Operations LLC, DBA Firestone Complete Auto Care.
Wait, isn't the clerk to be?
Yeah,
reading
she's supposed to read these.
Well,
Sorry.
you guys getting me
You just want me to read all four?
Yeah, you can go
Yes,
ahead
all
and
of
read
them,
them.
yep.
Keep it simple.
007425, communication sponsored by Alder Pete on behalf of the city clerk's office, submitting a renewal application for a secondhand jewelry dealer and secondhand article dealer for Bell City Resale LLC, doing business as Bell City Resale, Tracy Modal Agent, 15th District. 007525, communication sponsored by Alder Pete on behalf of the city clerk's office, submitting a renewal application for a secondhand jewelry dealer and secondhand article dealer for American Coin and Supply, Inc., DBA American Coin and Supply, Cheryl Spencer, the agent of the 12th District. 007625, communication sponsored by Alder Pete on behalf of the city clerk's office, submitting a renewal application for a waste tire generator license for Bridgestone Retail Operations LLC, DBA Firestone Complete Auto Care number 655260, located at 4920 Washington Ave, 12th District. And 0077-25, communication sponsored by Alder Pete on behalf of the city clerk's office, submitting a renewal application for a waste tire generator license for Bridgestone Retail Operations LLC, DBA Firestone Complete Auto Care number 655244, located at 1122 North Main Street, First District.
Move to approve.
Yeah. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. You can go ahead.
Our next item is 0104-25, communications sponsored by Alder Pete on behalf of the City of Racine Police Department for the licensed premise report.
Thank you, Sergeant Neighbors. Good, how are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. At this time, we don't have any concerns. All the calls, are accepted.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I have to ask the last one. Oh,
Your last item is 0105-25, communication sponsored by Alder Pete, requesting any consideration, any formal expression of concern, or other actions pursuant to the police report.
To receive and file.
Second?
all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We're officially adjourned.